Hi guys, welcome to this week's vlepisode, where we're going to be talking about everything a director needs to do in pre-production to prepare on a low-budget shoot. So we're talking shot lists and we're talking storyboards. So, if you're working on a low-budget film shoot, one of the most expensive things is the boring logistics of getting people from A to B. So, what you want to do is basically keep it as tight as possible and plan exactly what shots you want to do on a certain day. That way you're not wasting people's time, and therefore you're also not wasting your own money. So, after working on the schedule, which we'll cover in a future episode, what you want to do is take each individual scene and break that down into individual shots. So, what I do is basically close my eyes when I've read through a scene and I imagine in my head how that movie's going to play out. So picture individually how the shots, kind of lay out. Do you start with an establishing shot? Do you start with a, close-up or cutaway? Do you start with a medium shot? Picture it all out, see how the scene plays out in your head, and then jot it down. Have you got all the shots necessary to tell the story of that scene? Convey all the meaning within that scene. If you do, great. Do you actually have too many shots? Now, on a low-budget shoot, obviously, if you can refine the scene down to as few shots as possible, that's going to save time and therefore also save money. Okay, so now you have 4 options. Okay, so option number 1, do shot lists. Okay, so doing shot lists is an absolute must. There's professional software out there like Shotlister, but to be honest, I just use Excel. The great thing about Excel is you can kind of filter it by, category headings that you've got. The great idea about Shotlist is you can print out a day's worth of shooting on like 1 or 2 sheets, and all the cast and crew can have a look at this shot list and get an idea at a glance of the overview of the day's work. So the headings you kind of want to make sure that you break down there is scene numbers, shot numbers, whether it's day or night, location, shot type, so whether it's a close-up, whether it's a establishing shot, whether it's whether it's a close-up of a cutaway, a prop, or something like that. And I'll also include the actual cast list who are going to feature within that shot. This came really important when we were doing Little Monster, and obviously we had a child actor there, and we wanted to minimize the amount of time they had on set. So we could, kind of schedule it so we could bump all the shots that we needed for that actor to be in a certain place at a certain time, and then pick up everything else in other scenes at another time. The great thing about shot lists is there's nothing more satisfying than actually getting a pen and putting a line through it at the day, crossing it off, and that is done. As you go, actually, while shooting a shot, you might find out that maybe you didn't need all of the additional shots. Maybe you captured a certain look or, a certain action within the master or whatever, and you can kind of go through and then eliminate certain shots that you might not need as well. Option 2, storyboards. So on my first 2 features, I storyboarded the hell out of them. And that was because it was my first feature. Obviously, other people's money was involved. So if you're starting out, I'd advise, storyboarding as well. The benefits of storyboards are that you don't even have to draw particularly well, but if you can sketch, obviously even stick figures, it will quickly convey to your DP or your camera crew what's actually needed in a shot.
Your drawings are shit.
Yeah, they are. The other great thing about storyboards is when you're doing it in advance of the shoot, you're almost kind of pre-editing the film as well. So similar to closing your eyes and imagining the scene, you're getting all of that down there, and you'll have a good idea then what cuts together. It'll also give you a good idea of if you miss something on an establishing shot, say if there's a line flub, but at that stage anyway that you're going to be punching into a close-up or a cutaway, then it doesn't matter. You can just run the scene as is, and you'll be confident enough to say, that's okay, we're not going to be on the master shot for that shot. So on my last few projects, though, I've actually moved away from storyboards. On my 3rd feature, Curb Crawlers, it was a found footage film, so we were talking long, fluid takes of like 10 minutes or whatever, and it just wasn't going to be realistic or even possible or particularly helpful to do storyboards. So with that one, shot list kind of really came to the fore. There were particular complicated effect shots, which we did storyboard. And again, that was useful then to convey to the makeup team and the DP you know, to kind of say, look, I need it framed this way, and therefore we can achieve this effect. So everybody was on the same page. I also worked 2 years ago on a comedy sitcom, and with that one I was more interested in capturing the performances rather than dictating specific framing of shots. So what would tend to happen was we'd have a rehearsal, but there wouldn't be a huge amount of time between rehearsal and the actual shooting day. So there wouldn't be a huge amount of time for me to actually work on storyboards. So for me, it was more important to get it down shot lists and then, you know, kind of capture whatever we were going for in the day. Often with comedy as well, what you're going to be looking for is the reaction. And if you're working with really talented actors, they're going to give you reactions which you wouldn't necessarily have thought of when you're originally storyboarding or even reading the script itself. Also, on a low budget shoot, there is the chance that you won't actually have access to the location in advance of the shooting day. So sometimes it can be very difficult storyboarding something where you haven't actually even seen the location. On the first feature, I had forgotten, because I did see the location, but I'd forgotten how small the bathroom was, which meant that we weren't able to achieve any of the shots as we originally storyboarded. So basically the morning where we'd decided we were going to shoot all the bathroom stuff, it was a very quick kind of getting some blank pieces of paper and working out a new storyboard as we went. Option 3, do both. Yeah, if you've got the opportunity, absolutely do both. But what I'd always say is prioritize your shot list over storyboards. Option 4, do neither. Please don't do that. Let me know if you think I'm talking out of my ass. This is not my ass, this is my mouth. It is as hairy as my ass. And then do that likey, subscribey thing. I tell you
Do
what.
it. Go on. You can do it.
I'll just let Jim do it. So,
No,
Jim,
do it.
you do the likey, subscribey.
Come on.
There you
Yeah,
go.
man.
Hi, it's James from Mad Science Films, and thanks for watching. If you like this video, please remember to like and subscribe. To stay tuned for more, hit the notification bell. Any comments, leave them down below, and we'll see you next time.